Today we are going to be continuing solving problems using division. However, instead of using models, the area model we were using last week, we are going to be using the standard algorithm. Okay, so standard algorithm is just a fancy way of saying that we're going to follow a series of steps. This should be a review for most people. You might find though that because you were taught it in 4th grade, you might be a little fuzzy and need a reboost, and maybe using some different strategies than you even learned ever before, okay? So a lot of teachers have used these abbreviations before, and they might say something like this: does McDonald's sell burgers cheap? Okay, I always did dad, mom, sister, brother, and Cleo. Cleo could be a cat or a dog, some kind of pet. Okay, and now you're thinking, wait, time out. Is this math class? Yes. So these are, sometimes teachers teach these as a way for you to remember the steps so that when we're solving using the standard algorithm, you don't skip a step. Okay, so what does this really mean in math terms? The D stands for divide. The M stands for multiply. The S stands for subtract. The B, bring down. And the C, check your work. Okay? And so we'll be going through an example. Our first example is going to be 138 divided by 6. Okay? And so we are looking, remember, for that quotient. Now, before we get going with solving using standard algorithm, I want to show you where everything sits. So in standard algorithm, we use this with this setup. So this should look familiar to some students, okay? Now remember, here we have the dividend, the divisor, and the answer is the quotient, okay? So here, the dividend goes inside, dividend. The divisor goes outside. Some people call this the home. And then the quotient will end up sitting on the top, okay? And that's important to know so that when you write your work that you know how to set it up, okay? So in order to solve this, the first thing we need to do is set it up in, and like I said, some people say inside the house, okay? So I'll go ahead and make this and set it up, okay? So we'll write 138, the dividend goes inside, 138, the divisor goes outside, divided by 6, and when we get our answer, it will be here, okay? And so now back to these steps. So these steps should hopefully help to try and keep us in order as we solve so that we don't skip anything. Okay, so let's go ahead. So the first step is dividing, or sometimes I even say does, because I have you'll see in a second, I ask this word a lot. Really what you're saying is 1 divided by 6, but the way I like to actually ask myself is, does 6 fit into 1? So you're ignoring the rest of this. You're just trying one number at a time. Does 6 fit into 1? I think of it like shoes. If you wear a size 6 shoe, can you fit into a size 1? No, I can't. So I'm just going to put an X. Does 6 fit into, well, let's try this whole piece here. Does 6 fit into 13? Well, yeah, 6 fits into 13. Let's see. If 6 goes in once, it's 6. Twice is 12, and 3 times is 18. So it fits into 13 2 times. So we'll write that 2 there to show that 6 goes in 2 times. So really, we said, does 6 go into 13? So really what you are doing is 13 divided by 6 is 2. Okay, that's that first step, and you can use this as a checklist if you want and say, yep, I did that. Okay, next step, multiply. Really, and I put this symbol here a lot, the multiplication symbol. 2 times 6 is, well, when I do 2 times 6, what did I get? And sometimes if we write our list of multiples here, you can go ahead and use it. So 2 times 6, well, when I did that, I got 12. So I did this, now I'm at the S. And so I noticed some students, they'll write dad, mom, sister, brother, Cleo, and use it as a checklist. Okay, I did that. Now S. S stands for subtract. 13 minus 12. 13 minus 12 is 1. I did my subtract. Bring down. Bring down only one number at a time, and I'm going to write that over here. Only one at a time. Okay, so I'm going to bring down the 8 and check. Now, check is kind of when I'm done. Right now, I'm going to kind of put a line like that. I have to go and repeat right through these steps. So D for divide. Now, really, I'm dividing 18 by 6, or like I said, sometimes I like to think about it as does. Does 6 fit into 18? Well, wait a minute. I already started writing my multiples. 6, 12, and 18. It does. It fits in 3 times. That's my division step. Or really what you're doing is 18 divided by 6 is 3. Okay, multiplication step. Remember, and I can write it in a different color. I put this multiplication symbol here. That helps me. 3, the number I just wrote up here, 3 times 6 is 18. Okay, that's my multiplication step. My subtraction step, I already set it up. 18 minus 18. Hey, that's 0. Okay, my bring down step. Now go over here. Is there anything else to bring down? No. So now I checked that. Now I'm ready to check my work. Okay, now checking your work, I always tell my students to do this. Make a big C. Check your work. See how it looks like a big C for check? We said 138 divided by 6 equals 23. We said 138 divided by 6 equals 23. Well, we're going to check our work using inverse operation, the opposite. So if it's division this way, we're going to check our work by saying 23 times 6, and we hope it equals 138. Look at here. Look at the C for check. 23 times 6 better equal 138. Okay, so let me go ahead down at the bottom and check my work. 23 times 6. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So again, 23 times 6 better equal 138. It did. So that tells me that my quotient is correct. Okay, you are going to now do a notebook insert and take some notes with your teachers, okay, and practice all different kinds of problems. And hopefully we continue to grow with this. The more we practice, the better we'll get. And we'll be using this not just in elementary school, but all through middle school. So it's something important to master now.